Back in 1991, I had a part-time job at the Nestle coffee factory as a security guard, working the 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift on Friday and Saturday nights to make some extra cash before my son was born. So while I was working there, I got to know one of the warehouse workers pretty good. Nice kid, about my age. Um, uh, I didn't do a lot of security work at my security guard job. I mostly smoked a lot of pot and read a bunch of books. But regardless of that, this kid liked to smoke pot too, so we would smoke pot together. And talking to him, he also did every drug there was. He did some coke, he did some heroin. He was a drinker. He had addiction issues. He was addicted. And we're talking one time, and he looks at me and he says, it's not my parents' fault that I am the way I am. I had a really happy childhood. I'm just a piece of shit. And I felt really bad, and also a little, wondered too. Because there's this kind of, myth of the happy childhood, right? So as I got to talking to him, I found out more. And when he was younger, well, first of all, he had two older sisters too. And when he was younger, his parents got divorced. But his parents did it the right way. It was a really amicable, friendly divorce. And they sat the kids down and told them, hey, this is not your fault. This is between me and your mother. They did all the right things, the way you're supposed to do it. They didn't fight in front of the kids. They didn't, they did their best to make it work. They did a great job. And of course, both of them eventually, the mother started dating some other guys. She dated a few guys till before she found the right guy for her, and got remarried. And he had a couple of kids from his first marriage. And kind of the same thing for his dad. His dad married the first woman that he started dating. And of course, there were some struggles. They had the two houses. The mother got to keep the house, but it was hard for her to afford it at first. So she worked a lot. And the dad, he had to get his own place. And of course, the two of them were working on themselves and trying to find new relationships and, keeping ahead at the job. They need more money. So, even though they did a great job, that kid, that boy who thinks he had, he doesn't want to blame his parents because they did everything right. What more could they do, right? So he doesn't want to blame them. So instead, he blames himself and he says, I'm just a piece of shit, But what he doesn't realize is, it was more like he was told he had a happy childhood, right? But he didn't have a happy childhood. He wasn't happy going between two homes. Now, his older sisters, they handled it. They were fine. And that was another thing. He looked at them and he's like, well, they're fine, so it must be me. But they had never really talked about it, him and his sisters. So anyway, he had a lot of trauma from being a kid that he didn't even know, and he didn't want to blame his parents, and I get it, and he shouldn't blame his parents. We all do the best we can for our kids, but that doesn't mean our best was good enough for them, right? And realizing that as an adult, that your parents did the best they possibly could. They did they did the best they could for you. But it wasn't good enough is not blaming them. It's not shaming them, making them feel guilty. It's just acknowledging that what happened to you too. And that all those things you felt were real and they were traumatic, and the kid never dealt with them when he was younger. As he became a man, never sat down and really thought about it. So he turned to drugs to escape the feelings he had inside.